All right, we're going to go over the homework for tonight, December 5th. We have been working on using a multiplication chart to figure out the different patterns of odd and even numbers and skip counting when it comes to multiples when we're doing our multiplication facts. So the first three problems, I had to identify what the pattern is, if we're adding or multiplying, and by how many. So for this first one, we have 40, 45, 50, 55. So every time we're adding 5, they might write that either way. So counting by 5s on that one. The next one, 1, 2, 4, and 8. This one's a little different because every time we are multiplying by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So this one, we're multiplying by 2. And then this one here, we have 22, 26, 30, 34, 38. So this time, from 22 to 26, we're adding 4. From 26 to 30, we're adding 4. So this is another plus 4. So they just have to figure out, am I adding that number every time, like skip counting, or am I actually multiplying by something there? All right. We have been working on lots of different number tables. So for this one, they have to try to figure out what the pattern is. So we have 2 times what got us to 12. That would be 6. 4 times what gets us to 24. That would also be 6. And 5 times 6 gets us to 30. So since we figured out that multiplying by 6 is the pattern, we know 3 times 6 is 18. So the missing number will be 18. All right, for this one, what times 4 gets us to 12? What times 5 gets us to 15? So they would look through here. I know that all of these would be your times 3. So again, our missing number would be 18. Here they're just filling in patterns, 2, 4, blank, 8, 10, 12. So counting by 2s to get a 6. This one, they see that we're counting by 4s. And then 9, 12, 15, blank, 21, 24. Going through and seeing that we're counting by 3s. And they're struggling with this, you can just have them think, okay, I'm at 9. Let's count up and see how many it is till I get to 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll see if it works for the next one. 12, 13, 14, 15. Still got 3. 15, 16, 17, 18. Still got 3. 18, 19, 20, 21. So that they can see every time I was adding 3. If they aren't able to recognize the pattern. Hopefully, they're starting to memorize and know these facts, and they quickly see, oh, that's my 3's facts. And can recognize the patterns quickly. All right, complete the series by listing all the multiples of 6. Also, on the back of this homework is a multiplication table, and they will have this to use on their quiz as well. So for multiples of 6, they can look at the 6's if they don't know their 6 times tables yet. We have 6, 12, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blanks until we get to 48. So we have 6, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's our stop number. So 18, 24, 30, 36, 42 is what they would fill in there. Like I said, they can use a chart, and they'll have a chart to use when they're doing these types of problems for an assessment. The last one, explain why all the multiples of 6 are even numbers. So we've been talking about the different patterns in a multiplication table for the numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Whenever that's one of your products, those are all even numbers. And every single product, which is just the fancy word for answer, every single product ends up being an even number. Even numbers all end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So 10s, they're all even because they all end in a 0. Look at the 8s, they end in an 8, 6, 4, 2. 0, 8, 6, 4, 2. All even numbers end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. All of our odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So if they end in a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, it's an odd number. They practice on the chart knowing that all of their 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 products are always going to come out to be even. But all the other products for 1s, 3s, 5s, 7s, or 9s, we're always going to get a mixture, like an odd number, even number, an odd number, an even number. So this is like a mixed pattern. So, for example, if I do 2 times 1, I'm going to get 2 because 2 is an even, 2 is an even. If I do 4 times 7, 4 is an even number, that's 28. 8's an even number, which makes 28 even. Anytime one of these factors is an even number, you're always going to end up with an even number. If you have an even times an odd number, you're still going to get an even number. So if you did 6 times 3, 6 is even and 3 is odd. But even though 3 is odd, as long as I have an even number in there, my answer is going to end up being an even number. The only time you'll ever get an odd product is if you're doing an odd times an odd, like 3 times 3 is 9. 7 times 3, 21. Odd, odd, odd. Odd, odd, odd. Otherwise, if you have an even number as one of your factors, or which is just one of the numbers we're multiplying by, you're going to end up with even. So they can explain that all the multiples of 6 are even numbers because anytime you multiply with an even number, or they might say factor, you end up with an even answer, or they might use the word product. And again, they can use their chart. So whenever they're explaining why some multiples are even, or why they're explaining there's a mix of even and odd multiples, they'll be able to use the chart to help them use those patterns.